Constitution. Honorable Speaker, this country has come of age. And over the years, those who are before us in this house know where exactly this country has come from as far as getting funds to the common mwananchi comes from. In as much as, Honorable Speaker, that we have two units of governance, the devolved unit and the national government, even as we continue seeking that funds go through, are channeled through the county governments or through the devolved units, there are other elements that are left within the national government structure that are very critical to people in all the villages and all constituencies. And with a well-controlled system, the impact will be felt in the villages and in the constituencies in factors or in matters that are left on the national government. That is the security, the education, and other matters, Honorable Speaker. And that is why it's quite unfortunate that people have a misconception that CDF or NGCDF is a fund that is managed by members of parliament. Far from it. Even as it is currently, Honorable Speaker, members of parliament have zero role as far as sharing of NGCDF or, the way NGCDF operates, Honorable Speaker. I mean, that is why it's called National Government Constituency Development Fund. It is a preserve for the national government with an autonomous structure of governance. We have the NGCDF board that does the approvals. We have the constituency fund managers that are employed by the National Government Constituency Development Fund. Then we have the committees, in the constituencies that, of course, now collect views from the common mwananchi. And the role of members of parliament, Honorable Speaker, is very limited. It's actually to oversight, as provided for under Article 95. There is nothing else that we do. What the members of parliament do when they visit constituencies on the NGCDF project is simply to exercise their role and responsibility to oversight and see whether this national government fund is actually doing what it ought to be. It's doing what the committee proposed to the NGCDF board. But people have this misconception, Honorable Speaker, that the members of parliament sit somewhere and they go to their accounts and they draw their funds, they decide on what to do, and they keep some changes. In fact, I keep challenging people any time I engage them that if there is a fund that you really cannot steal, it is actually in this house that I say that we need to replicate the system that NGCDF has or operates under to even the county government. Because this money, Honorable Speaker, leaves the board, goes to the constituencies with a vote, a specific vote, that on this particular percentage, it's going for the bursaries. This particular percentage is for education. This percentage is for this and this. We have no role whatsoever. But people think and imagine that we wake up one morning, a member of parliament wakes up one morning and decides that today I want to draw 1 million shillings from the NGCDF account. How? It is not possible. It is not practical. You cannot do that. What we do is to oversight. And what we are proposing here, Honorable Speaker, it is to have these funds now entrenched in the Constitution so that the people can feel it. Honorable Speaker, when you compare, and I've always said this, when you compare resources, when you compare the resources that are sent from the national government or through the devolved units and then NGCDF, you will realize, Honorable Speaker, that when you pass through the constituencies, every project done by NGCDF is visible. You see it. You see it. You can actually count and say, it has bought this school bus. It has done this. Some students have gone to school. Some people have, we have now police stations. We have, in fact, Honorable Speaker, some even do, like I saw Nairobi, Honorable Speaker, my former colleague, a member of this house, who left this house in the last regime, Honorable Speaker, was actually doing even swimming pools in Nairobi schools. And students have competed and even gone international through the swimming classes that they learned because the structures have been built. So, Honorable Speaker, this is the fund that is felt by the common mwananchi. When you compare every devolved fund, every fund that has left to the national government, you will realize that this fund, Honorable Speaker, is so visible. And that is why some people, some very weird quarters, Honorable Speaker, are viciously fighting that this fund does not get to the common mwananchi because they know that when it gets to the common mwananchi, they'll have no graph. They'll have no ground to stand, against, because people tend to fight for, they tend to oppress or suppress people so that they can be able to use them for their own ulterior motives, Honorable Speaker. But when this fund goes to the public, Honorable Speaker, it helps a lot, it elevates education, it's felt by the common mwananchi. And Honorable Speaker, I am a living example, personally, of this fund, the NGCDF. When it was first introduced in this House, Honorable Speaker, I was in Form 1. I was in Form 1, Honorable Speaker. And the Honorable Mingo Magara paid my school fees, Honorable Speaker, through this NGCDF. That time the fees was about 3,000. And when I saw my name on the notice board, Honorable Speaker, I was very happy. Because I had dropped out of school. I had no money. I had started, Honorable Speaker, doing many jobs in the villages. I had nowhere to sleep. I had nowhere to spend. So I really wanted to be in boarding school, Honorable Speaker, because there was no place I could live and, so that because I had nobody to cook for me. I had nobody to live with. And the Honorable Mingo Magara, Honorable Speaker, that time as a member of parliament, then it was not under the NGCDF board, it was quite a bit direct. Paid my school fees, Honorable Speaker, through this fund, NGCDF. Although it has, over the years, it has, been repealed now to what it is today, this is the time that this House needs to stand firm and support this particular bill so that this fund is felt, Honorable Speaker, in the Constitution. Then there is also the NGAF fund, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, women play a critical role in the societies. When you move around the counties, Honorable Speaker, you will actually see, in as much as the resources they get are meager, at about 6 million per county, or 8 per constituency, 42 million per county, or 50 or 60 million, you will see, we've seen water tanks, we've seen bursaries. They try to balance these resources and exploit them properly, and it's felt, it's quite visible compared to what we send in billions to the county governments, Honorable Speaker. If there is a fund, again, that we must support, that it should be raised even higher, it is the NGAF fund, even as we entrench it in the Constitution, so that you see it, it's practical. Honorable Speaker, we have water challenges all over in the country. We are not able to tap on natural, water that through the rains. But these ladies, the ladies that patronize this amount, Honorable Speaker, have been able to give tanks across the schools. Kids are not now being sent to, they're not being sent to the rivers, Honorable Speaker, for matters to fetch waters through the rivers and everything, because we are taking advantage of the rainwater, Honorable Speaker. So if there is another section of fund that we really must support, is the NGAF that our gracious ladies have been patronizing over the years, Honorable Speaker. And finally, Honorable Speaker, when we talk about the oversight, the reason why the oversight, the Senate looks crippled is because they are really not well resourced. You call governors who control billions of money to reprimand them, they look at you as paupers, and because you have nothing. Even going to the counties, Honorable Speaker, to see what the funds, the devolved funds are doing is a challenge to the senators. They struggle to get to the counties. There is no special budget for that to go to the counties so that they can be able to see. The other day I saw senators, Honorable Speaker, in one of the counties when they visited some hospital, Honorable Speaker, and they really displayed quite disturbing images of patients sleeping, sharing beds, 3 patients, women sharing beds, Honorable Speaker, maternity wing. It's a very sad situation. We need to empower the senators. We need to give them the oversight fund so that when they see these things, Honorable Speaker, they can be able to work on it. So with those very, very remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support and urge members to appear in the afternoon in large numbers and vote for this particular bill so that we can be able to see meaningful development in our society. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Dr. James Nyika.